Okay, just very briefly at the outset, as many of you are probably aware, David's shoulder has continued to bother him over a period of time since the original injury in late June. It came to the point today where, after consultation with the doctor last night, we thought it was best for him to get another MRI and be examined at HSS. That happened this afternoon. You have received the press statement. As a result of that MRI, there still appears to be inflammation in the rotator cuff, and as a result, David's going to shut it down for the remainder of the season. He's got to get the inflammation out and then strengthen the shoulder. So we expect that will happen over the next several weeks.
I mean, I don't have much to say. Obviously, it's disappointing. But I think, for me personally, making sure that I end this year, I guess, as healthy as can be, and then do what I can, starting with this rehab program, to ensure that I will be as close to hopefully 100% for spring training is, obviously the goal, moving forward. And I thought that, both for me personally and, from a team standpoint, that, having this thing checked out and, following the doctor's orders moving forward is, best for me personally and best for the team.
David, has there been any point in the last few months where the shoulder actually didn't bother you?
No, it's been pretty constant. And I think, as I told the doctors, it was something that, I want to get rid of, and something that, I just didn't want to do something this year that would cause this thing to last into next year. And, whatever the, before I kind of knew what the strategy was moving forward, I wanted to do whatever it took to kind of get rid of this so that, I didn't have to feel this way next year.
Tony?
It sounds like for either of you, you're pretty confident that this is not something you think will eventually require surgery, or how confident are you?
Well,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, after the consultation with the doctors today, I think that was a fear of mine. One of the reasons why we ended up kind of it coming to a head today and having the consultation and getting the exam. Fortunately, Dr. Alchek and the rest of the team doctors are in agreement that they believe we can avoid it, and there's a 6-week rehab plan that they've kind of laid out for me that I'll start pretty much as soon as possible. And then I think the plan is to reevaluate and hopefully be pretty close to 100% at the end of that 6-week rehab plan that they have laid out.
Sandy, just to be clear, that MRI was clear that there was no further damage, or you have to go in and get another one if the swelling or the inflammation goes down, I should say?
Yeah, no, the MRI was clear. There may be a follow-up MRI with some contrast dye just to take a look at the shoulder generally. I think that the biggest concern was that the pain, the soreness, would preclude David from keeping the shoulder strong. And if the shoulder didn't remain strong, that there could be some other structural damage to the shoulder itself. I think that was the outcome of the examination today. And so, with that in mind, we thought it was prudent, absolutely prudent, to take this step, and certainly David was on board with that.
For both of you, I guess, why now? Why did you decide last night to go to the doctor today? And did the pain increase, or I guess what kind of changed?
It was just based on a conversation with the doctors last night. You know, the doctors do such a good job here of kind of keeping in touch with the players, and I think, you know, having heard the symptoms, the continuing symptoms, that's when, you know, they decided they want to bring me in for another physical examination along with the MRI.
David, obviously your numbers this year were not what you expect them to be. I mean, looking back, how much did this affect you, and how much did this affect those final numbers?
I mean, I don't know. You know, as I've said all along, you know, I'm not one to make excuses. You know, and I'm not going to start doing that now. You know, I think that, you know, there were times where I should have done better, that I could have done better, and it's obviously, this season has left a sour taste in my mouth as far as, you know, both the injury side of it and the production side of it. But I'm confident that, you know, after getting healthy and, you know, going through as normal of an off season as possible, that, you know, I'll return to doing what I firmly believe that I'm capable of doing on the baseball field.
Let me just add very quickly, putting the numbers in perspective. You know, David did what captains do. He persevered. He kept going. He gutted it out. And so numbers or no numbers, you know, he did what we expected. He made a major contribution to the team by continuing to perform. And you know, when a player is injured, all you can expect from him is, one, honesty about the injury, and two, you know, the willingness to go out there and make the effort. And there's no question David did that, you know, throughout the last 2.5 months.
Thank you.
David, in doing that and trying to play through the injury, though, was it just last night that you began to worry about the possibility of surgery, or had that been a persistent worry earlier? No,
I mean, I think I had some questions for the doctors, you know, regarding the injury and the lack of, I guess, it healing itself while trying to play. And I think those questions led to some concerns, you know, I think on both sides, probably mainly mine, you know, regarding, you know, if it were something that required, and this is just my mind working, then I'd rather know what it is and, you know, hopefully fix that sooner rather than later, so that, as I mentioned before, that it doesn't jeopardize preparing and getting ready for next year.
A couple more, David. There have been several other times during this season when people have asked you about whether there was a possibility of shutting it down for the season. Looking back now, was there any point where you were, before now, that you were close to doing that, or to going to the doctors and saying, should I do that?
No, and I think part of it is probably, you know, stubbornness, and the other part is I enjoy playing baseball. I mean, it's, you know, it's boring sitting on the bench. I was bored out of my mind tonight, and it's the first night. You know, and you know, I just enjoy playing. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the competitiveness. You know, and if I feel like, you know, and at times I'm sure it's debatable, but if I feel like I'm productive and, you know, good enough to go out there and play, then I want to be out there to play.
Can we have one or two last ones?
I don't think David watched the 9th inning.
Can we get one last one? Kevin?
This may be a little forward thinking, but I mean, what are you thinking? Are you thinking of Sandy? This is for you, Murphy at third, and Dilson playing here, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, that's a question that, you know, Terry and I will discuss, but ultimately Terry will decide, and obviously this opens up opportunities of various types, unfortunately. So, but that's something that I'm sure Terry will address at some point.